Hey everyone, just a quick note before we get started. Thrawn Alliances has two storylines that alternate throughout the book. In this recap though, I'll set up the main storyline first, and then switch to the Clone Wars era story. Displeased with Grand Admiral Thrawn's failure to eliminate the Phoenix Rebel cell, and Thrawn's vocal disapproval for the Death Star project, the Emperor tests his loyalty by assigning him and Vader to investigate a disturbance in the Force. Aboard the Chimera, Vader traces the disturbance to Batuu, but they stop at Mokivja per Commodore Farrow's request. Upon arriving at Mokivja, they find a catastrophe has occurred, and its moons are out of orbit. Believing the catastrophe on Mokivja is related to the disturbance in the Force, Thrawn wishes to investigate further. However, Vader pressures Thrawn into continuing on to Batuu. Following Ahsoka's departure from the Order, Anakin is alarmed to hear that Padme's ship on Batuu was found abandoned. While en route, Anakin encounters Commander Mithron Urodo of the Chiss Expansionary Defense Fleet. Seeking information on the Clone Wars, Thrawn agrees to help Skywalker find Padme and her handmaiden Duja. Anakin and Thrawn find Padme's ship 30 kilometers from Blackspire Outpost, but find no damage or signs of unusual activity. While seeking information at a cantina in Blackspire Outpost, Thrawn and Anakin are attacked by assassins. Thrawn learns one assassin was missing, and the two track this assassin to a Separatist freighter. The two learn that the freighter was smuggling supplies to a droid factory through Batuu. Returning back to the cantina and interrogating the assassins, Anakin and Thrawn learn that Duja was murdered after discovering the smuggling operation. They also learn that Padme had taken Duja's ship to a Separatist base on Mokivja. On Mokivja, Thrawn, Anakin, and R2 infiltrate a droid factory run by Serenian Duke Solha. There they find Padme, who has been hiding in the factory with the assistance of some friendly locals. While assaulting the droid factory, Thrawn and Anakin discover the Separatists were producing battle droids with new armor that was significantly more impermeable to blaster fire. In the process of destroying the factory, Thrawn, Anakin, and Padme learn that this new material, called cortosis, had come from a nearby mine. Anakin destroys the mine after evacuating the local miners to prevent the Separatists from accessing more material. This deeply angers the locals, but also Thrawn and Padme to a lesser extent. Thrawn surmises that Anakin's emotional drive is a critical susceptibility of his. Attempting to stem the damage done by Anakin, Padme promises to push the Republic to help the people of Mokivja rebuild their livelihood. Thrawn parts ways with Anakin, having learned about the greater Clone Wars conflict. Then Anakin and Padme make their way off-world. Returning to the main storyline, Thrawn and Vader alone descend to Batuu. Visiting Blackspire Cantina, they learn from the bartender that Batuu has been thriving and seen an increase in alien diversity. Soon after, they are both unsuccessfully attacked by 10 Darshi warriors, a species originating near the unknown regions. At the same time, Thrawn and Vader's subordinates fend off an alien attack on Vader and Thrawn's ship. Vader and Thrawn discover that the aliens that attempted to attack their ship are Grisks. Thrawn explains that the Grisks have a dominant relationship with the Darshi and hail from the unknown regions. Based on the equipment found in Blackspire Outpost, Thrawn deduces the Grisks were ordering the Darshi to begin setting up communication relays beyond the unknown regions. Thrawn and Vader also discover hibernation cylinders, which Vader feels are closely linked to this disturbance in the Force felt by the Emperor. Aboard the Chimera, Vader begins to question Thrawn's secrecy about his knowledge of the Grisks and his loyalty to the Emperor. The tension is heightened by Thrawn's recounting of his time on Batuu with Jedi General Anakin Skywalker. Thrawn reassures Vader his loyalty, right as the Chimera is pulled out of hyperspace by a cloaked Grisk gravity well. Knowing the Grisks would be coming soon, Thrawn uses a captured Grisk freighter as bait for a trap. After capturing more Grisk freighters in the trap, Thrawn is able to determine that the ships were using the same cortosis material as found on Mokivja. Believing the Grisks had repurposed the old Separatist droid factory, Thrawn orders the Chimera towards Mokivja. Thrawn battles the Grisks above Mokivja, while Vader and his First Legion assault the Grisks' repurposed droid factory below. There, Vader rescues a few captured Chiss children from being placed into the same hibernation cylinders they found on Batuu. He also discovers, though, that these children are Force-sensitive. Following their victory, Vader is furious with Thrawn, again withholding information on the Chiss's Force sensitivities. Thrawn explains that Chiss children, mostly young girls, are Force sensitive but grow out of it as they reach adulthood. The Chiss girls' foresight abilities are critical to the Chiss for navigating uncharted space, and Thrawn deduces that the Grisks are using them for this purpose. When Vader questions that this matter is of importance to the Empire, Thrawn addresses the Grisks had violated Imperial sovereignty by disrupting hyperlanes and were likely preparing attacks against the Empire. Since Vader was unsuccessful in rescuing all of the Chiss children, Thrawn persuades him that rescuing these children is in the best interest of the Empire. Thrawn requests Vader reach out through the Force in order to trace the location of these Chiss children. After tracing the children's location to some Grisk cruisers, a space battle ensues. Thrawn is able to exploit the Grisks' weaknesses, while Vader's forces infiltrate the cruisers and rescue the remaining children. Defeated, Thrawn demands the Grisk commanders cease their expansionary campaign, seeing as they have lost their ability now to navigate uncharted space. Thrawn rendezvous with Admiral Ar'alani of the Chiss Expansionary Defense Fleet to return the children and discuss the growing threat of the Grisks. Thrawn pieces together that the Grisks had been observing the Clone Wars from afar, and likely led the Separatists to this Cortosis vein on Mokivja. Given the Grisks have a history of stealing technology from other species, like the Darshi, it's likely they allowed the Separatists to develop the Cortosis material, and then would take it when the time was right. Following the events that had transpired, and Vader's observations of Grand Admiral Thrawn, Vader realizes that Thrawn's loyalties likely lie first with the Chiss, and that the Emperor, knowing this, has allowed him to serve in order to benefit from his knowledge of these threats in the unknown regions. Before departing back to Coruscant, Vader reminds Thrawn that despite the success of this mission, the threat of Phoenix Cell is growing, and further failure in dealing with these rebels would not be tolerated. So that's going to do it here for today's video, guys. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this one. If you did, please leave a like and consider subscribing as it helps my channel out a lot. Stay tuned for a recap of the next book, Thrawn Treason. And other than that, have a great rest of your day, and may the Force be with you.